Hello, Flosstube. I am Aimee. I am the Black Cat Stitcher here on YouTube and on Instagram, and this is a channel about my hobby, cross stitch. But I also talk a wee bit about my second hobby, reading, which I will include at the end of the video. First and foremost, let's get the elephant out of the room. Yes, my hair is gone. I did get a haircut. It's been my routine. This is like the third or fourth time that I've done this, to grow my hair out really long and then cut it all off and donate the hair to help make wigs for cancer patients or kids with alopecia or something along those lines. But anyway, this week has been kind of a roller coaster week. I've been on quite the ride, and I had a few, as you can see in the title, what was I thinking when stitching moments. So let's get started, and without my whips, I'll move on into plans next, and then I will talk about reading at the very end, like I said before. First, Daddy, look away. This is your gift. You mustn't see. Anyway, this is my focus piece, which is Nina Olson, or Cross. I am a hot mess today. I apologize in advance. Anyway, this is Star Wars Cross Stitch by Nina Olson Embroidery on Etsy. And this is my focus piece, which I work on during the weekend. And I made some pretty good progress. I've got most of the yellow here are the flames, and then I'm going to work in some reds and orange here to finish out the flames at the top and probably the dude's face, which the dude is Darth Maul, by the way. Anyway, yeah, this is my first what was I thinking moment, and mostly it was just I did something slightly unnecessary. I frogged these two rows and redid them because I miscounted slightly, which I could absolutely have fudged that, and there was pretty much no reason why I needed to do that, but in the moment I felt like I did, and as a result the yellow is now kind of dirty and tan because I reused the string. So hopefully that washes and I'll be able to make it yellow again, but if not, at this point, I don't care all that much, and it doesn't look that bad. So that is my focus piece. And then I worked on my butterfly pillowcase. I embroidered the black, backstitched the antenna, and started a wee bit on the first wing of the second. Excuse me. It's gonna be one of those videos, y'all, of the first wing there in purple. I'm making slow but sure progress on this. And the next is whip, which is work in progress, by the way. Upside down. Watercolor City, or at least that's what I'm calling it, because I really don't know the title of this, because it is from the Etsy shop that shall not be named, as I discussed in my first and probably second video. But anyway, here we go. It's kind of hard to tell, you know, what I did here because I've been working on the confetti, filling in some of the white here in this dark blue area and up in here. So I can't tell what I did, and probably neither can you. Hopefully someday in the future, I want to learn how to do the insert picture of previous spot deal in the top corner or something like that. So subscribers who are experienced floss tubers, oh, words, English is hard for me today. Anyway. Yeah, experienced floss tubers, let me know in the comments what software you use / how you do that, because I want to do that someday. Anyway, on to my, shoot, did I not bring it out? Nope, it's right here. My next whip is my mermaid bookmark by Stitch's Lover's Shop on Etsy. And in one of my previous videos, somebody mentioned that these are all Studio Gilby characters. I knew Totoro was a Studio Gilby character, but I did not know that the rest of these were. So that was a fun fact that I learned, which is cool, because I was just making crap up and calling it whatever I wanted. But anyway, this, where's my fancy back thing, majig? Like I said, I'm a hot mess today, y'all. Anyway, I made progress in leaps and bounds here because I did a single row of yellow. Obviously I'm being sarcastic. I had my cell phone break on me, so I had to take a trip to go get a new cell phone because it suddenly took a swan dive into the trash bin. Not literally, but it just quit functioning suddenly, so I had a wee bit of a drive to get to where I could buy a new cell phone because I live in the middle of nowhere, so it takes me a bit to get anything done. But I also like living in a small town, so that's okay. But anyway, I obviously made tremendous progress on that. LOL, just kidding. Anyway, my last project is, or at least that I've worked on. I have more whips than this, but this is a snake pattern by Unique Patterns Lovers on Etsy, and this one is the one that I focused on this week, or focused on a little bit, because I have, oh goodness, I have the hiccups. I have decided to change up a little bit my rotation, which I will discuss in plans. But anyway, this is where I'm at. I filled in a lot of the blue here in the snake and a lot of the purples here in the bottom flower. And I did a little bit of dark green in some of the leaves, but that's confetti and it's hard to notice, especially with cross-country stitching. But yeah. This is my second what was I thinking moment. As you can tell, we have a wee stain there. Not a wee stain, it's a large stain. But I made a boo-boo and story time. Anyway, my morning routine is usually to get up, get some sort of caffeinated beverage to wake me up and sit and stitch for a little bit and drink that to not become a zombie person while I'm working. So I just take a wee minute to wake up. But anyway, I had set my stitching aside on the side table and next to my caffeinated beverage and walked away to go get my breakfast. And of course, what was I thinking? Because I know that my cats have a habit of having excessive interest in my beverages. Kiss likes to stuff his entire face into my cup. Hershey dumps his entire fist into the drink and licks it from his paw. My cats are weird, but I knew that they do this, so I know that they are prone to knocking my beverages over. So I come back, and a cat has knocked my beverage onto my cross stitch. I shouldn't have done that. I should have put it away, or at least put it in its project bag so that it wouldn't have gotten that giant stain on it. But what can I do? I love them. They're strange, but I love them. Anyway, what was I thinking? But that is all for my works in progress. So now on to, pardon, my plans. Like I said previously, I'm planning on switching up my rotation a wee bit. I'm still going to have Star Wars as my focus piece, and I'm going to keep working on that during the weekends. But what I had been doing previously was spinning a decision wheel daily to select a whip to work on from the rest of my whips for that day. And there are days where I just don't feel like stitching. I want to read or do something else instead, or I just don't have time. So I completely neglect the whip that's selected, and it makes me feel guilty for no reason, to be honest, but it just does. Yes, Kiss, it does. I'm sorry. And I want to maybe put a little bit more effort into a single whip. Goodness, the screen reflects in my glasses. Wow, cool, awesome. Anyway, I'm easily distracted today also. So, where was I? Anyway, I want to put a little bit more focus on a single whip instead of doing basically nothing on a whip per day. So I'm going to spend an entire week and focus on a single project for a week. So in my next video, you'll see my focus project, Star Wars, and 2 whips that I have worked on, because I do a Flosstube every other week, basically every 2 weeks. So that's what I'm gonna do. So plans, for the first week, I'm gonna spin the wheel, and when I'm better prepared and not completely distracted, I will do in my next video a on-camera selection of my whips for the next 2 weeks. But this week, sorry guys, it's gonna be a mystery. But for the second week, it's not gonna be a mystery, because I'm going to pre-select something that I want to start in honor of Pride Month. June is Pride Month, if you didn't know, and I have been binge watching some of Bendy Stitchy's videos, and what I usually do when I'm introducing myself to a new floss tuber. Yes, I know I'm late to the party, but because Bendy Stitchy has over 200 videos, and yeah, Bendy Michelle Stitchy, that's her channel name. Anyway, but I watched the most recent video first, and then I go back to the beginning and I watch everything. And the most recent video that I watched of hers, she was talking about her June plans, and she talked about a sampler that she was going to start in June, but she was going to change the American flag into the Pride flag, or the current Pride flag, for Pride Month. And I'm kind of loving that idea, and I'm stealing it, because I've talked in my previous videos that I want to embroider my project bags, and I have selected a pattern, and although I haven't started yet, I have refined the plan. I showed you the pattern in the last video, and I have since destroyed it in my first attempt to make it look nice. So I don't have it anymore, but I will print another one, I promise, because like I said, I'm not prepared today. But anyway, instead of stitching the entire front like I had been planning, I'm going to do little hearts in there. And I'm going to transfer the geode pattern into just the inside of the hearts, because I think that if I did that on the entire front of the bag, it'll become stiff and heavy, and I don't want that to happen really. So I'm going to start with my rainbow color scheme that I had thought of in my previous video, but I'm adding the baby pink, the light blue, the white, the black, and the brown to the list to make it into the colors that are on the current Pride flag. And if I can, and I'm smart and artistic, which I'm not, but I'll try and maybe make the colors inside so it's somewhat triangle shaped in the side, but I think that might be difficult. Put the colors of the trans flag and the black and brown into one concentrated area, so it's kind of triangle shaped. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But again, I'm just going to stick push comes to shove with just using the colors. And I'm also going to maybe, I haven't quite decided or figured out that the design yet, because I'm still thinking and tossing things around in my head. I'm going to try and add the words "love is love" in backstitch somewhere on there, because just to make it abundantly clear that this bag is in honor of Pride Month / the LGBTQ plus community. So yeah, that is plans, my stitchy plans. And now on to reading. So those of you who are here for the stitching, goodbye, and on to my second hobby, reading. I have started / completed 2 books this month, or this 2 books before the beginning of this video. And the first one is A Lady and Her Monsters by I forgot the author's name, but the summary of the book maybe will help you find it. Anyway, it's about Mary Shelley and her monster Frankenstein, and it talks kind of about the things that were going on in terms of science in her lifetime that may have influenced her, as well as giving a wee bit of a biography of her life. It kind of starts out with when she met her husband. And they don't really discuss much of her early life except for, you know, who her parents were and whatnot. But yeah, it's got a lot of weird science and kind of occult things that happened back when Mary Shelley was creating her character. Like they talk about galvanizing, which is experiments with electricity and reanimation of the body. So basically, these were experiments that would connect people to batteries and make them twitch, which is kind of interesting. I'm weird, I'm sorry, I like gross things a little bit, so I apologize. But I think that's cool, and I would love to see it. Yes, I'm weird, I'm sorry. And then it also talks a bit about the practice of grave digging and body snatching, which is where grave diggers would go to the cemetery and dig up bodies and sell them to medical students, because that was the only source that they had for gathering bodies to practice dissections on. So it talks about that a little bit and talks about other weird science things like alchemy and galvanizing, and yeah, it's pretty neat. But the second book, buried under all of the paper, is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Now, I haven't really gotten very far into this. This is a book that Michelle Bendy Stitchy recommended in one of her pretty older Flosstubes that I'm binge watching, and the plot sounded awesome to me. I think she and I have pretty similar tastes in books, because by watching her Flosstube, I've added quite a few books to my list. But anyway, this is 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stewart Turton, and I just started this book, but basically the gist of this book so far is that the main character is reliving the same day over and over again, but he is reliving it in the bodies of several different hosts, and he is going to continue reliving this day until he solves the murder of Evelyn Hardcastle. And just to show you how very little of this book that I have read, the character hasn't even witnessed the death of Evelyn yet. He just in the previous chapter that I read, learned, in fact, that the person who's going to die is Evelyn. So, yeah, I haven't gotten very far, but I love this book so far. I'm reading it in mother-daughter book club with my mom, and that is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the evening, in fact, is reading and hopefully having a wee bit of a discussion with my mom later this evening. But yeah, that is my life. No, I'm kidding. It is, but you know. Anyway, I will see you guys in another 2 weeks in my next Flosstube video. Bye-bye.